China's electricity shortage may lead it to bring in Australian coal. China's electrical shortfall, which has resulted in rolling blackouts and the closure of enterprises, as well as worries that its coal availability could run out in 2 weeks, may lead the government to switch back to Australian supplies. While coal-fired power plants provide more than 2/3 of China's electricity, the country had to buy $1 billion worth of Australian coal. China, however, blocked shipments of Australia's third-largest product early this year due to rising diplomatic tensions between the two countries. Now Beijing is suffering coal shortfalls, and it will be tough to meet demands by increasing local supply on an urgent basis, so China will have to turn elsewhere for coal. Due to a global shortage of coal, some experts say Beijing may be forced to relax its restriction on the purchase of the Australian resource. Others, though, predict that Chinese President Xi Jinping will remain vindictive. Before returning to buy Australian coal, according to Michael Showbridge, Director of Defence, Strategy, and National Security at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, Beijing is willing to have firms and consumers pay more for energy and even suffer limited blackouts. China's President Xi Jinping may also use this diplomatic approach to trade with Australia as demonstrating a commitment to climate change. According to Bloomberg Intelligence, at least 17 provinces and regions, representing for 66% of the country's GDP, have declared some sort of power cuts in recent months, pressuring key industrial consumers. The outages prompted public outrage, stopped traffic lights, and disrupted phone service in several places. According to David Oren, a senior analyst at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, the scenario could lead to public revolt. The Chinese authorities are very sensitive to social unrest, and the past form is that when there is social unrest, the authorities crack down very hard on the protesters. But they also respond to it with concessions of one form or another. In an interview, published by news.com.au, Mr. David Oren explained, "It was striking that China was experiencing the power shortage when it was only autumn in the country. The really big power demand comes in winter with heating, so things may get worse in terms of power blackouts and difficulties. The power shortages will have an impact on China's economy as the country grapples with a number of issues." I think the Chinese authorities have a lot of issues on their plate at the moment. Their determination to meet emissions commitments has got a very high political priority at the moment, and of course they are also having problems in the property sector with heavy debts of property developer Evergrande. I think they're going to struggle to keep economic growth going at the rates they want. The question is, at what point do they decide they need to support economic growth above other objectives in the interest of social stability? I think that will come, but it's impossible to predict when it will come.